Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. One of the remarkable aspects of the Street Fighter roster is the diverse collection of antagonists it showcases. Whether it's Bison, Balrog, or Relento, they exhibit contrasting backgrounds, morals, and aspirations. This is precisely what distinguishes the character whose origin story we're about to delve into, and makes him genuinely intriguing. We are talking about Akuma. Akuma, also known as Goki in Japan, assumes the role of a secondary antagonist in the Street Fighter franchise. He first appears as the ultimate adversary in Super Street Fighter II Turbo, and plays a significant antagonist role throughout the Street Fighter Alpha series. Having tremendous power, he's an intimidating combatant with a sinister inclination. However, what was he like during his childhood? Let's delve into Akuma's early life and explore the path that led him to become the formidable monster he is today. Buckle up quickly. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Origin of the young Akuma. Akuma initially appeared in 1994 in the game Super Street Fighter II, but his story predates that. Although Capcom has never officially acknowledged it to the best of my knowledge, Akuma's inspiration can be traced back to an infamous incident involving the April 1992 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly. As part of an April Fool's Day prank, the magazine featured fake screenshots of a character named Sheng Long, a Ryu imitator who supposedly could be unlocked through complicated means. According to the prank, Sheng Long would appear in the final stage, defeat M. Bison, and present players with an almost impossible boss battle. When Super Street Fighter II Turbo was released, it boasted two prominent features that captured players' attention: the addition of super moves and the inclusion of Akuma. To encounter Akuma in the game, players had to navigate through one-player mode, triumphing in each match while achieving a minimum of 3 perfect victories. Upon meeting these conditions, Akuma would make his appearance, brutally dispatching M. Bison and issuing a formidable challenge to the player's character. Meanwhile, Bison's lifeless body would remain immobile in the background as Akuma delivered a relentless onslaught. His origin story was well explained in the 2013 Udon comic book titled Street Fighter Origins Akuma. Born to an assassin who later transformed into a farmer, Akuma's childhood took a drastic turn when a group of vengeful bandits took the lives of his parents. This tragic event left him and his brother Goken orphaned. Soon, Akuma embarked on a journey to learn the new ways of Anatsuken under his mentor Gosetsu, who had also trained his father. However, driven by an insatiable desire to become the strongest, Akuma became fixated on the dark side of this martial arts style, allowing the intent to kill to consume him. As a result, he mastered the Raging Demon, a devastating attack akin to the Penance Stare, which inflicts greater damage based on the sins of his victims. As the years pass and he becomes an expert in fighting, he relocates to Tokyo to gain first-hand exposure to the outside world. However, the city's prevalent corruption and violence gradually disillusion him, convincing Akuma that power is the sole pursuit of significance. Akuma eventually makes his way back to Kosetsu and Tokyo, expressing his newfound realization that a person's life's journey is narrow, with each individual having a singular purpose they are destined to fulfill. According to Akuma, the rest of the world serves to aid one in realizing their actual value or divert them from their inherent potential. Weary of these distractions, he declares himself a fighter and is prepared to push himself to the limits. He expresses his desire to acquire comprehensive knowledge, recognizing that Gosetsu can only impart such wisdom to him. Following this, Akuma isolates himself in a lengthy period of meditation, during which the Satsui no Hado, the murderous intent within him, finally erupts, leading him to a profound revelation. Undergoing a rebirth of sorts, Akuma embarks on a ruthless killing spree, starting with those responsible for his father's death, and concluding with Gogetsu himself, who is revealed to have orchestrated the tragic events that befell his father many years ago. From that point forward, Akuma sets out on a global journey, seeking to refine his abilities and encounter adversaries who truly deserve his formidable skills. In the culmination of the origin story, Goken was filled with horror upon witnessing the transformation of his brother, and makes a solemn pledge to put an end to his rampage. The two siblings engaged in an epic and monumental battle, with Goken emerging as the victor. However, it was not a definitive defeat for Akuma. Instead, he vanished without a trace, pledging to make a comeback in the future. Over the years, Akuma has persistently remained a source of trouble for his elder brother, repeatedly resurfacing with even greater powers than before. With each appearance, he poses a more significant challenge to Goken and becomes a constant adversary. Despite Goken's persistent efforts to guide Akuma back to the path of reason, they proved futile, as Akuma's soul had become irrevocably bound to evil. Regarding his fighting style, the Onitsuken is an ancient form of karate with its roots in assassination techniques. While Akuma initially learned a non-lethal variation of this style intended for self-improvement, he gradually deviated towards a more violent approach centered on murder. His transformation began with the abandonment of any hesitation to kill. Eventually, as mentioned before, he tapped into the power of Satsui no Hado, a dark energy representing the intent to kill and the negative side of ki. This force resides within everyone to some degree, but manifests as a potent energy in exceptionally skilled martial arts. While many individuals attempt to suppress the Satsui no Hado, Akuma fully embraces it, fighting ruthlessly and without restraint or mercy. Whether engaging in close combat or launching long-range projectile attacks, Akuma always seeks to end his opponent's life at the earliest opportunity. His signature move, the Shungoku Satsu, is particularly renowned for its lethal nature. However, Akuma may spare his victims if he has specific plans for them. Akuma's portrayal throughout the years has showcased him as a fascinating character. He exudes a sense of honor and stoicism, yet beneath his composed exterior lies a simmering intensity. On the one hand, Akuma rejects the notion that he was inherently destined to be a malevolent individual and would have inevitably become the master of fist. Moreover, he doesn't depict his pre-demonic self as an overly sensitive individual who laments his circumstances. Even when faced with his father's death or the loss of his mother's will to live, Akuma doesn't shed a tear, although these events do impact him. Instead, he channels his emotions into anger and dedicates himself to acquiring strength, allowing him to live on his own terms. And in terms of physical power, even as a child, Akuma displayed remarkable toughness as he fearlessly confronted a wild bear and fought despite sustaining severe injuries. As part of his rigorous training, he was subjected to extreme conditions, including 14 days of starvation without food or water, confined within a cave atop a snowy mountain. With only a few embers to provide minimal warmth, Akuma endured these hardships. On the final day, he was given the bare minimum of sustenance to prevent death. Yet, by that point, he had already acquired enough strength to unleash a devastating assault on a nearby village. The following day, he defeated his master, Gosetsu, in combat, showing little concern even after being stabbed in the shoulder. Having retired to a reclusive life in an almost inaccessible location, Akuma sustains himself solely on the offerings given by the rare fighters who managed to reach him. Despite his isolation, he remains undefeated, allowing his opponents to push him to the brink of defeat before unleashing his retaliation. Similar to the storyline in the Street Fighter video games, the book Origins follows a relatively straightforward and uncomplicated plot, primarily aimed at highlighting Akuma's abilities and offering insight into the character's motivations. In this regard, Origins effectively provides the rationale behind Akuma's actions. After reading the comic book, there's little doubt about why Akuma behaves why he does. Although his transformation from an honorable martial artist to a more demonic figure occurs somewhat abruptly, it's supported by an intriguing twist that adds a real incentive to the character's development. Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of this video. Akuma is a character of remarkable complexity and intrigue. While he assumes the role of a villain, he also embodies the qualities of a tragic figure. His downfall can be attributed to his relentless ambition as he becomes a victim of his own desires. Nonetheless, Akuma remains an imposing and formidable adversary, constantly posing a threat to both his elder brother and the entire roster of Street Fighter characters. Over time, Akuma has experienced a significant rise in popularity, solidifying his statue as one of the most iconic figures within the Street Fighter franchise. He embodies qualities of strength, flawlessness, and devastation, serving as a symbol of power. Akuma's persona as a formidable antagonist command both fear and admiration, ensuring his continued prominence in the ever-evolving Street Fighter universe for years to come. What do you think of Akuma? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, remember to hit the like button and share this video with everyone. I'll see you in the next one.